ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुषुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मायं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदर्शनाय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत श्री गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम Hare Krishna. Today I was just wondering why it's a better experience. Then I understood that remove the curtains. Did you realize it's better? So today I think we are supposed to have question and answer. All of you are aware of it? Our devotees want to ask some questions directly, or you have made your chits? Oh, chits are there. Okay. Chits are there? You want to answer? I thought you came to share. Take it, get a chair, no? Repeat questions you remove. I'll answer and then give it to you. And then you can remove the repeat questions. So that's first question. This is Rishikesh, no? Hrishikesh. Krishna is referred as Rishikesh. That is a controller of the senses. Controller of the senses. So, how he helped to his devotees to control the senses, to overcome from lust, jealousness, ego, etc. One very beauty of Krishna consciousness is that one at least can recognize that that he has lust, fear, jealousness, and ego. The fact that he has already recognized the disease, and the process of Krishna consciousness is actually the medicine to this disease. The more you associate with devotees, the more you read scriptures, take prasad, apply the teachings of Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam in your life, you will see a great progress. You will see a great progress, to give up fear, anger, lust, jealousiness. Everyone has this, little less or little more. But when we apply the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to be humble, amanina manadena, to give respect to one and all, and without any respect for our own self, So when you follow these teachings, you can very easily, cross over. Sometimes I know that the question. Sometimes I know that the thing which I am going to choose is wrong, or I am to do is also wrong, but I am not able to stop myself. Is it automatically, or anyhow I always choose the wrong one? Then how can I defeat it and choose the right one? And also, if we are addicted to such bad things. Yes, in this, as I mentioned in the classes also, in Kali Yuga, we are actually addicted to only bad things. Addiction to good things is Krishna consciousness. And Kali Yuga is such a place, family and society and friend and everyone doesn't want us to become. Again, when you become too much devotee, they say pagal ho gaya hai. Isn't it true? इसका दिमाग खराब हो गया, इसको ब्रेन वॉश कर दिया है. Correct, no? So that is the society you are living in. So only when you associate with devotees and then you practice with them, develop relationship with devotees, and automatically, your inner self will give you confidence. Automatically. It's a very natural process. One should not worry about the problems which he has. It will automatically, go away. If one just keeps continuing the process. Like in last 4 days, any of your bad habits cannot disturb you. Isn't it true? All of you see, someone was saying loudly, yes. And you have to just continue this rest of the life. How to find Guru? How to advance faster in spiritual life? What helped the Harinam? What helps the most? Harinam Sankirtan or reading books or of His Divine Grace? In Brahma Gaudiya Vaishnava line within ISKCON, there is a process of getting initiated, which is following the 4 regulative principles, chanting 16 rounds and doing devotional service. When you chant 16 rounds for more than 1.5 years and having a very good relationship with your spiritual authorities, automatically you will be introduced or you will advance to the point that you will feel the need of getting initiated, and that process will automatically come. What is most important? Harinam Sankirtan, reading books. Actually, it's a very interrelated. Books is Briyat Bhagavad, it's Briyat Mridanga also. And it is not different because one of my Shiksha Gurus, His Grace Ayendra Prabhu, used to say that these books are meant to convince us philosophically that Harinam is the only way. So these books are meant to convince us philosophically that Harinam is the only way. So you have to do both. But yes, Harinam can always be more. 7-8 hours of Harinam and 1 hour of reading. Right? Every living entity has a soul, from the big animal to very small has soul. The big animal, any living entity has some more, one cell in the body must contain more than one soul for one cell. Yes, that's true. So what's the problem? There are innumerable living entities everywhere. Every cell has a soul. Every body has innumerable souls. But for this body, the soul is residing in the center point. Similarly, in the cell, there will be a center point from where the cell operates. That's where the soul resides. When I was a new preacher, I know this story. When I was a new preacher, I went to give a class to science students. So one science student asked me, I told the soul is situated in the heart. So one boy asked a question, sir, where is the soul situated in amoeba? Amoeba. We don't know where is the heart of amoeba. So I was like shocked. So I went to my seniors, and the next week I told him, one of my senior told me that the soul is not situated in heart of every species. Where the center point of the soul is, body is center point. Heart is the center point. The blood pumps from there. Similarly, every species must be having a center point. The center point of the body functioning is where the soul is situated. So you tell him to find out which is the center point of amoeba, and that's where the soul is sitting. Prabhuji, ISKCON does observe VIP culture when it comes to celebrities or rich businessmen. For example, if I want to have a darshan on, say, Radhanath Swami, it's not possible. But if a rich man, businessman or an actor wants to see, he will be welcome. So everything boils down to money. Is it? Very intelligent question. Well, it is not like that exactly. It's just our immaturity look at things. For example, Radhanath Swami Maharaj or any sannyasi is one person, and there are lakhs of people who want to meet him. Isn't it true? And he has 24 hours. So, and he is also serving his guru, isn't it true? He's serving the mission of his guru. So, he has to have priority. He wants to serve. He wants to engage himself. The more big people will come, the more you can preach. That doesn't mean small people don't meet him. It is not like this at all. I mean, when Maharaj was preaching early days, he was living in huts. He was meeting everyone, anyone and everyone. It's just either through service, either through channel, you can reach big leaders to serve, to meet them. For example, you want to meet Radhanath Maharaj, for what? If I ask you. For what? For example, you say, I want to make Prime Minister of India. So you cannot say the Prime Minister is so puffed up, he doesn't have time, I voted for him. People will say, अरे पागल आदमी है, एक वोट से क्या फर्क पड़ता है? It's not like, but the point is we have to understand that they are busy, they are serving, and it is through service we can meet them. Like for example, I never had this desire to meet Radhanath Maharaj, but then a situation came up where I had to take up the co-presidentship in Hyderabad. So my Shiksha Guru, who is a disciple of Radhanath Swami, Radheshyam Prabhu, we both met him together in a meeting, in an open meeting where senior devotees were there. So Maharaj requested Radheshyam Prabhu that you should take up the service in Pune and Hyderabad. And then he looked at me. So Radheshyam Prabhu said, Maharaj, he's from Hyderabad. He's from Pune. He was in Pune with us. So I said, no Maharaj, I was not in Pune. I was under Radheshyam Prabhu in Pune. So Maharaj doesn't know me, but he immediately embraced me. He said, I'm very happy you are a team together. So it was through service. It is through service you can meet senior Vaishnavas. And one thing we should know, the blessing comes in parampara. Any leader in this movement, because the blessings of Radhanath Maharaj or Radha Govind Maharaj will not be different. You understood? You have to understand my tattva. It's not something special will come from Radhanath Maharaj. I'm something little special from Radha Govind Maharaj. I'm something very, very special from Jayapataka Maharaj. It is actually individual sadhaka. How much sincere you are, that much blessings you will get. You understand? Suppose if you meet Radhanath Maharaj and after that you don't chant your 16th round, what is the value of it? What is the value of it? Right? But if you chant completely, sincerely, you will seek blessings of the senior Vaishnavas. Now they have aged. Earlier, 20 years back, when I joined the mission, it was easy to meet them, make an appointment. Now they are very aged also. So it is to service we can reach them. It is to service or by the mercy of Vaishnavas. Or you can make it, you can sometime go to Chopadi temple. Maharaj comes down for darshan. And you can just stand in front of him and say, Maharaj, I want your blessings. You should know also for what you want. Like in 2003, I was walking here with Jayapataka Maharaj. Maharaj was on a walk. So I was walking and suddenly Maharaj saw a young man, took me under his shoulder and told me, what's your name? I said, where are you from? I said, I'm South India. Which place? I told the city. So he spoke in Telugu to me, one word. And after that, I went walking with him, continue. So there was a Mataji. She was shivering, crying. Maharaj, please give your blessings, she said. So Maharaj looked at her and said, what kind of blessings you want? And she had no answer. Everyone was laughing. What kinds of blessings you want? And she stopped crying also. And she didn't understand what to answer no further. So Maharaj had a stick, put the head ahead. So it's not that, see what happens when celebrities come to temple. When celebrities come to temple, there's a big PR which happens for the temple. Many people who don't know Krishna consciousness, they come across Krishna consciousness. Like recently we got Anupam Kher to temple, our Hridaya Yagya Prabhu. And we gave him special darshan. And he posted on Instagram. And thousands of people, lakhs of people actually got darshan of the deities. Because he posted. Suppose if I take you and give a special darshan, you post it on your Instagram, what will happen? So it's a preaching tool. It's a preaching tool. For one, suppose like in Hyderabad, we built this new temple. One person donated the whole money, whole temple. How many are from Aktapur? One person, one family built the whole temple. And suppose you come for darshan and he comes for darshan. Should I treat equally? Yes, I have to, in principle. But will you yourself agree that? You will yourself wait. I don't have to tell you anything. Pehle inko. Because money is blood. If people are ready to give that money to in Krishna's service, it's a great sacrifice. Isn't it true? People are so attached to their money. They're so attached to their money. But if they can open their arms and give that in Krishna's service, why? So that people can come and worship the Lord, take darshan of the Lord, preaching can happen. Isn't he a special person? Like that. There is one story of Srila Prabhupada. There was one gentleman. One disciple went to Srila Prabhupada and showed him a newspaper article wherein a Mayavadi sannyasi was offered a lot of dollars by his disciple. And he was telling like this, I don't want. Like this. And photo was taken at that time and it came in the newspaper. And disciple showed Prabhupada, he is also very renounced and people are glorifying him. Prabhupada said, you can call them with the same box of dollars and they can take my photo like this, accepting it. And I will show the world how to engage that in Krishna's service. That's how it is. How to give up masturbation, and when the senses are agitated more, what to do? Actually, it is very, very difficult to give up this habit if someone has. Because, and not someone has, today's generation, everyone has this. Because you completely, animal civilization is there, Sex is only approached in the way of enjoyment, not in the way of procreation and yajna. Vivaha yajna. Vivaha yajna means an auspicious sex life, a sex life with devotion. That's called vivaha, which human beings are supposed to do. And then within human beings also there are approaches how to get married. Like a shudra, like a brahmana, he will see the qualities of the girl first. Good qualities, brahmanical qualities, devotional qualities. He will accept that girl. Kshatriya will see the dynasty of the girl's side. Are they strong people? The wife has to be strong like a Kshatriya. Stand up in difficult situation. And then comes the beauty. Vaishya will see paisa kitna hai, ladki wale. Kitna aayega tilak mein. And Shudras will see tagdi hai, moti hai, gori hai, tight ekdam, maja aayega. I will enjoy, they will enjoy sex life or not, The Shudra, low grade marriage, And now only that is livelihood. That is the only intelligence of approaching sex life. And now what happens earlier too, people used to get married when they are having puberty after that. There are many, in Vedic time, in Srila Prabhupada, in his college days, was already married. He was already married in college days. Now education system is such a 21 के बाद शादी करो, उसके साथ पूरा गंदा आदमी बन जाओ एकदम, See pornography, masturbation, everything finished completely. And then you become a devotee. And of course, it's very difficult, but still, one special benediction you all have, which others in the different yugas will not have. You know what is that? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. You have the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you very sincerely chant and stick to your sadhana and keep yourself busy in reading shlokas, reading Prabhupada's books, very careful about what kind of association you should have. Be in a situation where you are not always alone. Be in services always. Take up some services where you can sit in a remote place also and do services. If you can really proactively pray to the Lord and chant sincerely and keep yourself busy, all these problems will go away. And another thing is, many a time it so happens that some of our preachers, we bombard purity, this, that, fall down, this, that. So some devotees, they have difficulties, this kind of difficulties, other kind of difficulties, So they feel very guilty. Actually, we should not, all these things are mind's game. Mind's game. You saw the story of Jagai and Madai? Saw drama or something, Jagai and Madai? This movement is for Jagai and Madai. We are little better. So no need to worry. First qualification, if you Jagai Madai, to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. So we are all Jagai Madais only in one way. But stick to the holy name and this kind of ups. The ideal way to think of it is that the barometer of these kind of fall downs should be reducing. Should be reducing. Where it was a part of your life, it should become slowly not required. And slowly you're progressively coming out of it. If it's progressing in that way, you should not worry. You should not feel so guilty and discouraged. Timely speak to your superiors and you will be out of it. This is an unspoken, truth. This is an unspoken truth. But you should not worry about it. That's why, and one who is very grossly into it, my humble suggestion to them is, get married early. That's it. Either become a brahmachari, stay with devotees, so that you don't have any opportunity for these kind of things, or get married early. Because brahmachari life, these challenges may come, but service is so strong. It just after an age, it evaporates completely. It's not that brahmacharis don't have, everyone has these issues. I even know grihasthas having these issues. Because it's such a mental impression it leaves, the form of a female, the body of a female, the enjoyment of it. It just goes by reading regularly. Actually, one very important thing is reading Prabhupada's books. Actually, one thing is very important, anxiety of service, Anxiety of service. Always take up some service of calling for preaching. If you're a student, going out and preaching to your friends and bringing them. Some kind of service you should have, which should actually engross you. For full-time devotees, definitely you should have so much heavy load of services that very less chance, time is there and energy is there for these kind of things. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, everyone has struggle, some attachment which comes in between and Krishna consciousness, of our Krishna consciousness. How can we remove it from the root? Actually, it is not specific. The general answer would be, if you just stick to the process of Krishna consciousness and develop a very strong relationship with your superiors, who are actually advanced and cross this stage, because they are realized, and when in a realized platform they will actually counsel you, it will help you to come out. I remember once there was some dispute in a management department, and I wanted to punish one employee and another devotee was supporting him, and I got so agitated. Why that fellow joined the temple? Why is he here? He's supporting wrong people, this, that. So I just could not keep it. After 2 days, I spoke to my superior, Shamru Prabhu. So he told me only one sentence. He said, no, why? He said, why you have to worry? If you are right and the person who did is wrong, and the person who is supporting is wrong, both will pay for it today or tomorrow. You don't be so disturbed. There are so many other things you can do nicely. Leave it. There's one line he told me, and I was like, oh. Rest of my life, anyone came to me with this problem, I could easily help him. Kya hai? Chhod do na. So it's very important to go to our superiors. Please explain the Bhagavad Gita 327, Prabhuji. I read in Baladev Vidyabhushan's commentary. The person bewildered by the pride thinks that he is the doer of the actions, which he is being completely done by body, senses, and proud pranas. Proud है pranas है. Proud made of prakriti. So who is the doer, Prabhuji? Oh Mahesh, I'll answer this later. It's a big answer. It's about the modes, no? Prakriti, Kriya, Manani. Of course, in general principle is, it is actually in combination. The senses, the soul, who identify himself with the senses, but because of the attachment to the material world and material body, the soul experiences as if he is going through it. It's like, if suppose you have a new bike and you park it in front of me, and I bring my truck and just bash the bag, you will jump, you will shout, right? But what did I do to you? Nothing. But you are so affected by it. Why? Because of your attachment to the bike. So through our attachment, it extended in the modes, and with the modes, everything happens. This is just a brief answer. I will give you detail later. Why is God created me and universe? Very nice answer question. भगवान ने मुझे और सृष्टि को क्यों बनाया है? दोनों इंग्लिश एंड हिंदी. थैंक यू. Actually, just like God is eternally there. God is eternally there. So we are also eternally there. We are part and parcels of God only. So God's creation has no time and space. So similarly, our creation has no time and space. Yes, there is some explanation why the material world is created. So there is a spiritual world and there is a material world. So the living entities who are envious or get influenced with their own free will in a false way, that why the Supreme Lord has to enjoy, I also has to enjoy. So all the people who have such kind of thought are put together and put in the material world after the creation. So यहाँ पर सब भगवान बनने के लिए बैठे हैं. And you can see that, थोड़ा आदमी को पैसा आ गया तो मैं काट दूंगा, मार दूंगा, ये कर दूंगा, वो कर दूंगा. Everyone like that. Prabhupada gives a nice example. He says that this material world is eternal, just like the Supreme Lord is eternally there, the soul is eternally there, and the fact that he is in the material world, because he has desired to enjoy independent of the Lord. And he gives the story like this, like when a small daughter is there, baby daughter, so they have a nature to be like the mother. If you have seen small girls, so when they see mother cooking, they also want to cook. You need to see that. So generally to the girl child, you give a Barbie kitchen set. You've seen that? So then the child will be busy cooking in that, making chapati, dal, rice, cooker, everything, right? But when it is hungry, it can eat there? No, it has to go to the mother bhuk lag gaya, right? So after playing with the Barbie kitchen and tired and now hungry and fatigue, then it will go to the original kitchen. Similarly, soul in the material world, in this universe, does all its actions, I am the greatest, I am the smartest, I am the tallest, I am the longest, I am the biggest, I am the richest. After doing all this drama, he gets frustrated that there is no happiness. Then he gets a book or a prasadam or a poster, and then he comes to in association, different devotees have different opinions. So how to manage and proceed in bhakti? Very, very important question. Actually, even spiritual world has variety. So even in devotional life, there is variety. So there will always be different kind of devotees. Some will like kirtan, some will like prasad, some will like prasad. Of course, everyone likes. Some will like kirtan, some will like philosophy, some will like Bhagavatam, some will like Chaitanya Bhagavat. You know, some will like Bhagavatam and some will like Chaitanya Bhagavat. Some will like book distribution. You know, some will like Harinam. Some will like youth preaching. You know, some will like just managing or doing a pujari service. So in that way, there are, even in services, there are different of variety. So there will be different devotees, and try to understand. Prabhupada mentioned there will be some devotees who are very serious. There are some devotees who are weak. There are some devotees who are loose. There are some devotees who are new. There are some devotees who are old but still loose. There are some devotees who are new. Seeing the old devotees who are loose, they become loose. So there will be so many variations like this, when you are approaching. But your duty individually should be to focus on your individual progress. And for that, you should be connected to your superiors. Many times it happens also. See, like I am one leader serving. Similarly, like me, there is Chakravarti Prabhu in Jew temple who is serving. So there are many youth leaders in our Jew temple and in India also. Even in Mumbai, there are many temples. Even in Hyderabad, there are 3-4 temples. So it sometimes happens that one leader's view, one devotee may not very be able to gel with. So that doesn't mean that's the end of Krishna consciousness. There are many other options to go to another leader in the movement only and grow in Krishna consciousness. If you're sitting in a place where you're not feeling encouraged, because I remember it happened because material world is very, I said the other day, I was giving a class to senior boys. It's a Kale Doshinidhi Rajan. Kali Yuga place that where you will only find faults. It is very easy to find faults. It's very easy to see, like you, someone told, this VIP culture. You don't know, because you don't know, you will if you are in the movement, running the movement, then you will understand. Same thing, if you have a house and in that house local MLA comes and your maid says, "अरे ये क्या आप लोग partial कर रहे हो?" एक झापड़ देके maid को side करना, isn't it true? Yeah, isn't it true? Will you deal the same way like you asking me question? No, सब equal होना चाहिए. I'm so sorry, मेरी maid आ जाए एक मिनट, बाजू में बैठ जाए MLA के, जूस तेको भी लेके आता हूँ. Who will do that? Nobody. So even in Krishna consciousness, one thing is very sure: one who does services, who takes responsibilities, who takes pain to run the movement, to assist the preaching mission, they definitely get more association of superiors. It's very natural. This is a very, very natural process. I remember Sachinandan Hari, I used to always tell in my classes that Chaitanya Avatar Prabhu, Narottam Prabhu, Nitai Madhav Prabhu, and Sri Vasras Bihari Prabhu, these are the leaders who actually assisted me in all throughout in my services. So our Sachinandan Prabhu used to always say, "Yeah, Prabhuji, but," I said, "Sachinandan, anything you want to comment?" He said, "No, Prabhuji, but you take always their name." But now I talk to him more than Chaitanya Avatar Prabhu. Why? Because he has taken so much load to run the Hyderabad temple. So because of that service, it's very natural. Now I talk to Narottam Prabhu more than, I talk to Sri Sudama Prabhu more than Narottam Prabhu. Why? Because Sri Sudama Prabhu has taken the load of running. So it is by service. Very natural that, some devotees will have more association of superiors. So one should not feel envious, one should not feel, different devotees, different associates. It does not create a difference amongst devotees. The world is very big. One can always go to other leaders and serve, or one should take up responsibility. One should be happy. One should be happy. Oh wow! You should have gone and asked, "So what Prabhuji said?" Like that. And coming to this question, yes, how to manage it is process bhakti. Through your service, have strong relationship with your superiors. For a new devotee, his important service is to keep up the minimum sadhana, which is chanting regularly and Reading Prabhupada's books. Yes. Oh, so this means you're there. How to control our senses in this teenage? How to be more
energetic and enthusiastic.
Acha, E hai, energetic, enthusiastic in life. I already answered this. Just chanting, reading. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, once a friend of mine told that will beat my other friend and I should stay quiet. Is this? And I do nothing and he beats him. Now I am in guilt that I would have told him. So how to remove this guilt? Can you please guide regarding us? It was his karma, don't worry. And it was your karma also. Now you already took bath in Ganga, don't worry, it's gone. How to deal with Maya while living in the city? Very, very difficult. Be in association, take responsibilities, take spiritual vows, and spend time in spiritual activities. If you are sincere, if you pray very sincerely that you have difficulties to be in the city and practice, Krishna will either take you out of the city or give you the strength to live in the city and practice. Simple. Living the four regulative principles. What are the don'ts one should follow in daily life of a student? Keep away from opposite sex. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Why? If you keep away from opposite sex, 99% of the problem of your life is solved. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. While doing follow-up calls, I got a student saying, I know Krishna consciousness is right, but I am not able to do bhakti. I want to do, but I cannot do. So what should be the solution? First thing is when someone says like this, oh really amazing, I'm so surprised to know that you're Krishna. It doesn't make any sense. You can at least, we just would like to send you some prasadam. Or you can just come and attend the classes and there's some gift we will give you and it will help you, but that's it. If in this world, if you're kind to people, actually they become very open to be your associate, be your friend, hear from you. Kindness is what people expect. So if someone says like this, oh really, sir, then you should come. Even I was like this. Even I was like this. And I attended one of the sessions, I changed completely. Why don't you come? I was going through same, he should say. I to tell like this, dhan lies, to help someone. If it helps someone, Roji, I have a question regarding the 9th incarnation of Lord Vishnu, which is called Buddha. Who is Buddha? Did he spread Buddhism or Buddha and Gautam Buddha are different? Please elaborate. Yes, so Lord Buddha is the Supreme Lord who came. The Vedas were being misused. There was mention in the Vedas about animal killing, and the humanity was killing it at large, and there was a lot of ahimsa going on. So Lord Buddha, he actually came and himsa was going on. So he came and he just preached ahimsa. That's it. Only ahimsa. And the further things anyone people asked him, he kept quiet. Why he kept quiet? Our scriptures, they mention that after Buddha, who appeared? Huh? Sorry? And then after Shankaracharya? And then Vaishnava Acharyas were going to come and preach the details. Lord Buddha created, he stopped ahimsa, created himsa. Lord Shiva Shankaracharya separated the so-called physio and duplicitous Vaishnavas and attracted them to Mayavad, and the Vaishnava cult spread. That's a simple way to understand. He is Buddha who did not preach anything. It is like, Sai Baba said, Sabka Malik hai. They made him Malik. Isn't it true? So it is like that with Lord Buddha also. How to develop more and more faith in Krishna consciousness? Associate with devotees who have faith. You will automatically become Krishna conscious. It's like Mumbai local train. Just stand on the door. You will get inside. You will be thrown outside and stand on the platform near the gate. You will get inside. You don't have to do anything. Isn't it true? How many have been in Mumbai? You will agree with that. How can we control our mind? By chanting Hare Krishna, associating with devotees, taking prasadam. Why did Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas? Only to preach. What is the difference between Vallabhacharya Sampradaya and Gaudiya Sampradaya? What is the meaning of Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama? Is it also Maha Mantra? Yes, Vallabha Sampradaya, they chant this mantra, Shri Krishna. What is the meaning? Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama? Ishan, what is the meaning? Surrender to Krishna. And Hare Krishna Maha Mantra also says, surrender means do service. And Hare Krishna Maha Mantra also says, engage as in service. But the benefit which we have in Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes. In Vallabha Sampradaya, also Vallabhacharya is there, and the process is same to develop love for Krishna. The process is same to develop love for Krishna. But even just like in the material world, there are so many, what we call different fields, different culture, different community. There are so many variations here also in the material world. Similarly, in the spiritual world also. Now, this cannot be understood, from a very materialistic point of view. It's a very spiritual, technical subject. Like even spiritual world, every jiva, every soul has its own rasa, his own mood to approach the Lord. If someone who has attachment towards Lord Rama, one cannot force him to become a devotee of Lord Krishna, because it's one and same. The topmost is Goloka Vrindavan, where Krishna and Srimati Radharani and the gopis are there. That's what the Gaudiya Vaishnava line takes us to. But that doesn't mean in the spiritual world there are so many other, lokas, Vaikunta. Like Lord Balaji has his own loka. Lord Narasimhadev has his own planet in Vaikunta. So these are all spiritual world, So we cannot discriminate much in it. If someone is following the Vallabha Sampradaya, if someone is not following anything, then Krishna consciousness is what should be introduced. Someone is following something. But one beauty of Krishna consciousness, Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, is engagement. This kind of preaching, this kind of philosophical conclusion. Srila Prabhupada's writing, if you have read Prabhupada's books, how many of you read Prabhupada's books? If you have read this Prabhupada, these Bhakti Vedanta purports, they are not available anywhere in this planet except in ISKCON. The way preaching Srila Prabhupada introduced, the style he preached, his conversations, his life, as I told, he told, take a photo like this. No sadhu in this history has spoken like this, take my photo like this. Sadhu, like that. Prabhupada was the dynamic leader, who made such a difference in this world. So that preaching engagement, which is there, and Bhaktivedanta purports, answers. Prabhupada, once Srila Prabhupada was in Amritsar, and one big Sudarji, he met Prabhupada and told, Swamiji, they say, one astrologer told me that I was in my previous life, I was in the battle of Kurukshetra. So Prabhupada looked at him, and he was like a big man in that Gurudwara. Prabhupada looked at him and said, not possible. So he said, Prabhupada had gone to visit him, and he's such a big man. And Prabhupada, one line answer, not possible. He said, because everyone who was in the battlefield of Kurukshetra went back home, back to Godhead, because they got light in front of Krishna. That was Prabhupada's preaching, So that is very special. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Krishna created the material world so that we can realize everything, get out of false ego and etc. and go back to Godhead. But the spiritual world, every Acha. Every soul is pure and full in knowledge, but we all come from the spiritual world to improve ourselves. If we go back to Godhead, will He come back? No. That guarantee Krishna gives in the Bhagavad Gita. Now when you come back to me, you will antakalecha.
Yadgatva na nivartante taddama paramam. If one comes to me, he will never come back to this way.
This time he is giving guarantee coming. You came here, he came behind you. And told that if you come back, I will not allow you to come back down now. So no chance. How to control fear in unnecessary and to increase faith. Associate with devotees like Nityananda Prabhu, who has so much faith. Basically associate with senior Vaishnavas. Prabhuji, we understand that the fact that the Krishna consciousness is the only and the best thing to do in life. What is it? But I am not able to convince myself what shall be done. Well, in here in Mayapur only one devotee was there. So he was, when Prabhupada, used to do this Jayadvani, Jayam Vishnupada Paramhamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtapata. So everyone used to, you saw what everyone does? Huh? What everyone does? Pranam, no? All of you do in the morning Mangalarti? All of you do. So one devotee was standing like this. So some devotees reported to Prabhupada and he met Prabhupada. So he said, Prabhupada, somehow or other, I don't feel like doing it. So Prabhupada said, you keep doing it, will come. He said. Still you keep doing it, will come. Because the strength is in the process. Even if you don't want it, it will give you. Like I told yesterday, electric wire, if you don't want it also, and if you don't like it also, and if you are not aware of it also, if you touch, it will give you jhataka. Correct or not? Similarly, the process of Krishna consciousness is, you just continue. There is something which definitely has brought you till here. You hold on that and keep going. If nothing works, just come and take prasad and go. Just take prasadam. Prasadam will perfect you to develop taste for everything. Why Krishna and Rukmini is so not worshipped together like Shiva and Parvati? Why Krishna and Radha? No, Krishna and Rukmini is also worshipped. And in spiritual sense there is no difference. It is said Srimati Rukmini Devi is expansion of Srimati Radharani. This is expansion of Srimati Radharani only, in one sense. But Krishna's message or this madhurya which he enjoyed is Krishna's supremacy. This is a very important tattva. Radha and Krishna are lovers, right? But not from the point of view of the gutter lover understanding which we have in the material world. मैं तुझ पे मरता हूँ, तुझ पे मरती है, मैं तेरे लिए कुछ भी कर दूँगा. That is gutter wala understanding, After getting married, they only fight rest of the life. It's not like that. For us to enjoy, we need someone. Suppose you have cracked your 10th standard with a very good percentage, or somehow or other you passed, you felt you will fail. But then to enjoy that, can you enjoy it alone? Arey, मैं pass हो गया. Arey, alone you will run here and there, you will enjoy it? Can you? No, you need someone to enjoy. Correct or not? You need your family, you need your friend, you need some society who will clap, you will distribute sweets to them. Isn't it true? You need someone to enjoy. So we are conditioned souls, we depend on someone to enjoy. Krishna is not like that. He doesn't depend on anyone if he wants to enjoy. From within himself, a form comes out which gives him pleasure. And that form is Srimati Radharani, his pleasure giving potency. How many of you can do that? How many of you can do that? If you can understand this, then you understand Srimati Radharani's position. That she's pleasure, she's not a girl like this material world. She's Krishna's pleasure giving potency. You have to accept Krishna as a supreme, then you understand that, then you understand this. That it is Krishna's pleasure giving potency. And only he has the authority to enjoy her. And not only to enjoy, like I tell this also, that in my early days, when I used to, from Bhimandi, I used to come to Juhu, and sometimes I used to hide my bid bag, put in my school, this handbag and chant inside. So one day one of my college friends saw it. I said, नहीं मैं जानता हूँ इसको तो यार. He said, मगर यार कृष्ण ने बहुत गलत किया बोलते हैं. मतलब पूरे हिंदू लोग का नाम खराब कर दिया. इतने सारे बीबी, इतनी सारी girlfriends. Apparently, I had read Prabhupada's conversation in this regard, or heard it. So Prabhupada mentions that everything is Krishna's property. Isn't it true? Correct? We are Krishna's property. Our wife and children is Krishna's property. So Prabhupada asked of someone a question. Then he told, who is enjoying Krishna's property? Krishna is enjoying someone's property, or we are enjoying Krishna's property? Your wife is whose property? Huh? Krishna. Everything is Krishna's. So we have to understand Krishna's position first. Then we can understand whom is Srimati Radharani. And then his pleasure giving potency. It is his pleasure. It's a monopoly. Monopoly मतलब समझते हैं ना? हाँ? This is called parakya ras. Enjoying before marriage. This is all in the Bhagavatam 10th canto. It will take time. When you read Krishna book, you will understand consistent. But I'm just giving you just called parakya ras. Enjoyment before marriage. And only Krishna has that monopoly. Anyone wants to enjoy that, he has to lift the Govardhan Parvat. Some people say Krishna रास लीला कैसे करते हैं, हम लोग क्यों नहीं कर सकते? मतलब उसके पहले कृष्णा ये फिंगर पे पहाड़ उठाते हैं, है कि नहीं? You take one rice, एक चावल समझता है, उसको लो और एक दिन रख दो ऐसा, टिके रहेंगे तो फिर हम लोग बात करेंगे आगे कुछ. Just take one rice and hold it on this finger for one day. If you can hold it, we can discuss further about what you can enjoy, what you cannot enjoy. So that's how it is. You have to understand Krishna, Radharani, Rukmini relationship. It's rasa. It is a rasa. It is all to teach us. When you read Krishna book, you'll understand more what I'm saying. What actually rasa means? Very nice question. Next, rasa means when I'm telling about Krishna, you are feeling so happy. Isn't it true? Isn't it true? And when you see a naked girl also, you feel happy. When you don't have knowledge, if you're not introduced, brahmacharya is there, one should enjoy his wife. Looking at someone, other woman lustfully is sinful. If you don't know all these things, that is also rasa. Isn't it true? But that is material rasa. It degrades the soul. Isn't it true? If you can see some other woman, why not your mother and sister also? What's the difference? No, there, no. So when you come to this discrimination, you become a human being from animal consciousness. Animal means just see a she dog and there is a he dog, fight with him and enjoy her. Animals do that, no? You see in Discovery, no? There's a struggle, there's a battle of life to enjoy opposite sex for animals. So when you disagree and come to consciousness that rasa is actually, even in the worm in the stool also produce child. Understand? They also enjoy sex. So when you come to that level intellectually at least, and then when you come in association of devotees, read scriptures, rasa is this last 5 days. And then you come to, then coming to the point rasa leela. When you lift yourself to this, then you understand what is rasa leela. Rasa leela is Krishna enjoys, Krishna can enjoy anything and everything. You understand? Krishna can enjoy anything and everything. That's called in one sense, in the simplest sense, that's rasa leela. And then when you accept that, understand, when you read about Krishna, and when you understand that who are these personalities, all these personalities, they don't take like birth like us. We are forced to accept Mamu. How many of you have chosen your surname and then taken birth? How many of you? How many of you choose your father and after that you took birth? Anyone here like that? All the gopis and Krishna, they are all eternal associates of Krishna from the spiritual world. They appear here to just assist Krishna in his leelas. So it's very important to understand Krishna's position. Understand? When you understand Krishna's position, all these things you will understand more clearly. One. Vishnu.
Lord Vishnu.
What is like K? Vishnu, they are one and same. They are one and same. Worshipping Vishnuji and Krishna is equivalent. Yes, it is equivalent. But you keep chanting 16 rounds. When you chant 16 rounds for more than 1 year, you will get more clarity about Krishna and Vishnu. Simple thing to follow to go back to Godhead. Chant Hare Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita 18, Krishna says that Matta Chitta Sarva Durgani. If you become conscious of you overcome all the obstacles. Of me you overcome all the obstacles. Question is, no work is recommended by Lord. So is it that really by thinking of him we can achieve spiritual perfection? If you can think of him 24/7. And that is why chanting is there. If you regularly chant and read, because what you speak, what you speak continuously, that becomes habit. Like, I remember my friends in my college, Chaila, and they would, whole day they would say this, Chaila, some word will be there. You just whole day say that, isn't it true? So when you keep chanting the holy name, you will chant the name, and then you will hear about Krishna, you will remember, and you come into that consciousness. Are the deities in ISKCON temples carved by as per the scripture's injunction or based on the liking of one's own mind? No. Based on the scriptures. Based on the scriptures also, ISKCON has certain very special carvers whose generations have done carving only of Radha Krishna deities. Most of them, these families, they stay in Rajasthan. I have personally visited them. More than 200, 300 generations only carving deities, worship deities. Marble. Granite is South India. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Lord Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, but does not say anything regarding grains. So how can we understand it? Very intelligent question. Huh?
Grains comes from
Already Sachinandan.
So grains come from flowers only, right? Flower and bird, then grains. So that's how it is.
Understood? It is says that Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam, Krishna says offer me. He doesn't say grain. But grains actually come from flowers only. So one way, it's in the pushpa. Since different
Sampradaya. What is the difference between tilak? Since the different sampradayas have different
tilak, what is the history of tilak followed by ISKCON? This is something I also never thought of. So many. I will get back to you on this. But it's a Gaudiya Vaishnava tilak. It is said that the two lines are the feet of Radha and Krishna, and this is the Tulsi, which is always at the lotus feet of Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, our mind is imperfect and limited. So how can we understand Shastras and God who are perfect by our mind? If you cannot, if you can just read, if you can chant and take prasad, in some time you will start understanding Shastras. Lord Ramachandra was Maryada Purushottam, who is following his parents' instruction. Question is, should we also follow in the footsteps of Lord Ramachandra and obey whatever they say? Yes, If the parents are like King Darshan and Mother Kaushalya, if Dashrath Maharaj was a very, very great king. That what happened was just a leela to teach us. That what happened was just a leela. But definitely in principle as a students, it is always good to follow what the parents are saying. If they are telling to give up Krishna consciousness, that is where you can consider not to follow them. Because that will lead you to hell and them also to hell. To protect them to go to hell, it's better you practice. Just like Prahlad did. How to follow brahmacharya and control the urges in day-to-day life. Actually develop habit to read, memorize some shlokas, read some stories of Krishna. Without developing reading habit, no, it is very difficult to control our senses. Very, very difficult. And ideally, if you have graduated, then you should always try to take some training of brahmacharya and get married early. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam. I have two questions. After marriage, how to regulate our physical relation with partner? What is the Garbhadan Samskara? How can we perform? You meet me privately, I'll tell you all this. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. If Krishna appears in every millennium, does he perform the same activity every time? For example, taking birth, in jail, stealing later. Yes, pastimes, leelas, they repeat little bit here and there, could be there. Like, they say that Narsimhadev's Stamba, his appearance Stamba, in one of the yuga it is in Ahobilam, in another yuga it is in Multan, in Pakistan. You can put in Google and find out this. So Stamba may be different place. The Leela is the same, they say. They say like that. Sometimes little here and there. There is Ramayana from South India. Like there is two places where Jatayu fell down. One is in South India and another is in Nasik, near Nasik, Taket. So these evidences show that same pastimes the Lord performs. And actually very few pastimes are recorded. There are so many in the Krishna. If you open Krishna book, there are only 100 chapters, 200 chapters. Krishna book? 90. Do you think Krishna performed only 90 activities? So many leelas are there which is not there in record. Some are in Garga Muni's this thing. Garba, what is that called? Garga Samhita. There are many pastimes in Garga Samhita. There are many pastimes in Anand Vrindavan Champu. There are some pastimes in Gopal Champu. These are all books which is speaking Krishna's pastimes. And there are now also Krishna is doing somewhere, some other planet where he has appeared now, he is doing pastimes. Krishna's pastimes are eternal. Even now, Ananta Shesh is speaking Bhagavatam, the four Kumaras. Still pastimes have been spoken. Innumerable and unimaginable it is. Beyond our sense perception. So many pastimes of Lord are there. Prabhuji, when we speak in Prabhuji, when a speaker is given garland, then why do we bow down when the speaker is given garland? Because this is the garland coming from the Lord. It is offered to the Lord, it is coming. It is not different from the Lord. And when that is offered, then we, as a respect, we bow down. Prabhuji, we have so many beautiful names of Krishna. Then why do we have common temple name like Radha Madhav temple in Bhimandi, Naktapur? Because I like Radha Madhav. Is it possible to practice Krishna consciousness by staying at home? After all, serving parents and grandparents is also serving Krishna. If the parents and grandparents are devotees, then it is serving Krishna. If they are not devotees, it's duty. It's a duty. And then you can discuss with your superior how much you should be attached to your duty and will it hamper your Krishna consciousness. You should do these things in discussion with your superiors, not with your independent mind. Hare Krishna, I am practicing Krishna consciousness and from
2 years.
From 2 years,
I'm unable to come out of illicit.
I am not able to come out of illicit sex and I am trying my best to control. I am not able to control.
2 months, then again.
2 months, then again. Arey, why you should worry? At least you achieved 2 months. And I have faith. Maybe after 2 more years it will become 4 months. There will always be progress. But one thing is that one should actually come and live in association of devotees and go out on book distribution. Book distribution and Sankirtan services. Going out and meeting people. Actually sense gratification happens mostly when we have lot of physical energy. That the urges become strong. And then when the urges become strong, automatically eating, belly and genital. But if you can engage yourself in taking pressure to serve Krishna, like especially in this young age, there is a lot of facilities to enjoy. But if you can go out, take the books, distribute books, meet donors, cultivate them, travel in the car and give books. So what happens? Physical energy, it drains. And because it drains in service, actually the desire to enjoy, that taste reduces. We experienced that when we went on Sankirtan. First time when we went on traveling Sankirtan for consistently 4 months. That's when I realized, man, one can easily live without sex if you can just be busy with Sankirtan. Because you go out, distribute books, and after that if you read 1 hour book, read book Prabhupada books, you are so blissful. You remember that pastime, you remember that experiences, physical energy is not there, legs are paining, body is paining, and you are anxiety to tomorrow get up and chant. So you don't waste your time only. Instead of doing time pass on the phone, you would like to memorize one shloka or read some pastime of Prabhupada and you'll get sleep. That habit we develop, right Ishan? Yes, I remember I had a smartphone and I had my Kindle. I always choose to read something, one letter of Prabhupada and sleep. So it is very important that you actually drain your physical energy in the youth in service. It will help a lot. But how to do that in your situation? Speak to your superiors. Like these boys are the Surat boys, now. They were 2 years with us. Isn't it on Sankirtan? They are perfect at the art of controlling. There may be ups and downs. But just take a book and go out, right? Huh? Just take a book and go out. Don't, nazare hati, durghatna ghati. The moment you give little space, थोड़ा सा सो जाता हो ऐसा, क्योंकि अभी तो माया देवी is on your pocket only, smartphone. थोड़ा सा देखता हो, खत्म 2 घंटा, You have to tie yourself so much with determination. Free out. Then you will, save yourself. Do some services, Make some arrangement to go out in a different city, take up a job there where you can live with devotees. Many boys, they do that. Instead of living the life of guilt, again and again, falling down, it's better to go and live with devotees. What is bhakti? To serve Krishna, to develop attachment to Krishna, to develop attachment to devotional service, is actually bhakti. To do service. To love unconditionally. Unconditionally. You understand? No conditions. Unconditionally. If you love, that is called bhakti. And that love can only be for Krishna. Boyfriend and girlfriend, they say, मैं तेरे लिए कुछ भी करूँगा, तू मेरे लिए कुछ भी करेगी. After that, हम दोनों एक दूसरे के जान लेने के पीछे पड़ जाते हैं. That is material platform. In spiritual understanding, bhakti means unconditional love, which can only be done for Krishna. How can we achieve to the Supreme Personality of Godhead? By performing devotional service, by performing bhakti. Who is the real servant? Who selflessly does services is a real servant. Srila Prabhupada is example. And anyone who follows Srila Prabhupada's footsteps is also servant. How to develop strong faith on Lord in problematic situation? Very nice question. Actually, our test is in a problematic situation. Now everything is fine, खा रहे पी रहे हो, उठ रहे मंगल आरती जा रहे हो, no anxiety. But when you have challenges, do you approach your superiors and what instructions they give, do you apply? Do you pray to the Lord? Do you apply the teachings of Krishna consciousness? That is the proof of your sincerity. and then you will see solution to the problematic situation. How to wake up early in the morning, and what I was in association I wake up, but home I cannot. So be in association, devotees only. If you cannot associate, if you cannot wake up at home, then try to make arrangement to come out of home. Many boys they come, and how many are staying in the temple and center or base? Many devotees they just make arrangement, like many boys they go to their house, friend's house, पढ़ने जा रहे दोस्त के घर पे रात को और घूमते रहते रात भर. Is our marriage partner already fixed? Do we have control on it? In one sense fixed, yes. But if you come to Krishna consciousness, then you can actually, if you have, by your karma, you are destined to get married to a wife who will take a bail and break your head every day by karma. But if you come to Krishna consciousness, there are chances that you may get rid of that, or because you are a devotee, she may beat you less. Krishna consciousness, anything can happen. How to deal with juniors, equals and seniors. So Prabhupada, our Shastras, they already mentioned, what is the duty of a Vaishnava for towards the superiors. Like Prahlad Maharaj, he used to see his elders and seniors just like the supreme personality of Godhead, as if he is looking at Krishna. Very, very respectful to the seniors. Very respectful. If you are actually not able to see with that respect, keep distance. Don't find fault. And towards equals, be very friendly, but always think about their welfare. Never compete. If the equal is doing better, it is very, very difficult to not be envious and not have jealous with the equals. But if you can preach your mind that he should become a better person than me, he should grow more than me. If he becomes perfect, he will help me to become. I will beg him to make me perfect. That is the mood and a heart of a devotee. He thinks that I depend on the mercy of devotees. Let my friend become a better devotee and he will be merciful. That's what an ideal human being is. If we can do that, that is perfection. And juniors always make sure they are taken care, and if there is some issues, don't get into solving if you are not experienced. Don't get into polluting their mind and criticizing about various situations. Guide them to superiors and keep yourself away. For the juniors, it's always good, guide them to superiors. Hare Krishna, why Krishna has made this world or made the universe and living entity? I already answered this question. Flow to get distracted from negative, others from thoughts. What is this?
How to get distracted from negative thoughts. So he wants to, how to get out of.
Yeah, I already answered this. How to join ISKCON, especially Mayapur. Speak to your seniors, under whom you are. They will guide you. First, you should actually complete your studies and do your duties properly, and then have a strong relation with your superiors. Then you will be guided about all these things. Who is Krishna's wife? And Krishna ji, how many wives was there, and who is the first wife? Rukmini, Krishna had 16,108 wives, and out of that the supreme is Rukmini Devi. As you mentioned, if someone asks question in a challenging way, then others answering him, we have to question him back to awaken his ignorance. So how do we understand that? You have to read regularly Prabhupada's books. If you read Srila Prabhupada's books, you will understand, learn, and your intelligence becomes sharp. And when you face such kind of a situation, you will be able to deal with it. Sex life is really frustrating, or it depends upon the bodily, or it depends there on the bodily features. Actually, sex life is suffering. I'm a married man, I'm telling you. Sex life is only suffering. It's only suffering. But if you have a devotee wife, and if you can plan how to serve Krishna with a devotee wife, then it is a human being. Otherwise, see, most of us come from a family or a society or, can you tell the right boy? You are distracting me. What are you doing there? Yeah. You are laughing, it's getting distracted. So, sex life is very frustrating. If one actually approaches sex life from a Krishna conscious point of view, then actually you are engaging a sex desire in service of the Lord. Sex life is only suffering, only suffering. Because after sex life you have that Rani, and that Rani you have to manage her whole rest of the life, which is the wife, And I don't know how many of you have seen, but I have seen in my family and society, women fighting, in the youth they look beautiful, as they get old they look like pigs, They want gold, they want house, they want society, they want good for their children, they want every in the family, they'll fight, they'll fight with the husband, and they, what else? You must have seen elders, in the society. Have you seen or not? Then you feel, अरे क्यों बात कर रही है ये? अरे बंद कर रहे तू. You've seen that? That is after sex. That is after sex. You have to live with the whole life, Face, they will make face. Arey, you cannot even invite a guest in your house. The wife will make a face like a pig and sit there. If she is not a devotee, if she is attached to material things, if you get stuck in such a situation, I have seen in my family, in my society, you go to someone's house and the wife is angry, she's just keeping a plate and going on. Bichara pati ka chehra, like. And the brothers separate. Understand? Brothers, they separate. Joint families are finished because of no education of Krishna consciousness, neither to men, neither to women. Vedic culture is finished. Vedic culture would hold the society together, the family together. Now that is over. That is over. And above that, women feel they are equal. So that position is over now. What is left is suffering. What is left is suffering. They say, एक दिन का राजा, जिंदगी भर का गुलाम. Isn't it true? They make the bride to sit on a horse, right? Right, no? Groom, no? Sit on the horse. It is the last opportunity. अभी भी भाग सकता है. Run away. Last opportunity, run away. Very nice question. Prabhuji, I am trying to practice brahmacharya and I am able to practice this 3 to 6 months. And after that it becomes very difficult. So what should I do? You should actually talk to your senior very nicely. And if you are situated in the ashram and staying with very students and youths, then you should have some very solid engagement which will help you to come out. And please, anyone has these challenges, read regularly. Reading is a very big weapon to come out of these things. Attachment to reading, memorizing shlokas, doing some services. If you cannot get out of the house, these things help. After giving a masturbation, imagination of various things comes in the head. Yes, it will come and slowly it will go away. Just like if you have a closed room which is full of dust. If you start cleaning, what will happen to the dust? It will fly around. That does not mean you stop cleaning it. You have to keep the windows open and let the dust go out and it will be clean. So please don't be discouraged. Don't be worried about all these things. Keep going and Krishna will help. Last weapon is to emotionally torture you in yourself, in your mind. You know, in the form of intelligence. Intelligence is bending towards dirty things, and it doesn't want you to become a devotee, and then it will force you, and it will get you out of association. No matter what happens, always remain in association of devotees. If you have too much of lust, doesn't mean you have to go away from association. Get married and be a devotee. Get married devotee and serve. I am a grihastha. We have Sudama Prabhu, he is a grihastha with us. Who else is grihastha here? Nitai Jivan is there, he is a grihastha. Majority of the devotees get married, but I studied in the ashram, took brahmacharya training, so I could understand, Baba, what is a woman. He also stayed a brahmachari in the ashram, so he also knows. So at least brahmacharya training is very important. It is said that the first we should make our life perfect and then make others. But if it takes years, sometimes many lives to perfect, so other hours is what to do. So that's why as much you have perfected, that much you help others to perfect. When do we go to Acharya Samadhi? When do we go to Acharya Samadhi? What should be our mood and prayers? Yes, very, very nice question. When we go to Acharya Samadhi, we should remember about them. We should at least know about them. And we should know that today we are living this pure life is because they sacrificed their life. If Prabhupada would have not gone to America to preach and taken that risk, even after getting 2 heart attacks, where would we be today? Isn't it true? Correct? So in one way, our life is not sufficient to pay back to Srila Prabhupada. Can you pay back Srila Prabhupada in one lifetime? No, for what he has given us. So we should always know and pray to them that, by your mercy, by your sacrifice, actually we have got Krishna consciousness. Give me the strength to maintain my Krishna consciousness. And please keep me in association of devotees and keep me engaged in Krishna's service. Give me these blessings, is what we should pray. And we can offer some prayers from bhajans, many other things, but this is generally I do. There are many shlokas which glorifies Acharyas, Vaishnavas, that you can sing. You can sing about Krishna which pleases to Acharyas. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, so I wanted to ask, when did you start Krishna consciousness and how are your experience? Miserably I could follow many rules in the starting. Miserably. But now I am able.
Back side is also.
And what was it? Read the question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So I wanted you to ask, when did you started Krishna consciousness and how was your experience? Miserably, I continued to follow many rules in the starting, but now I am. So when you joined ISKCON, did you follow all the rules of ISKCON?
I would say that yes, I am with my sincerity. I am trying my best to follow all the rules. There is always ups and downs, but I have one faith that my seniors, they are very, very pure and perfect people, and even if I am struggling, they are so perfect that they will drag me back home, back to Godhead. So what I try to do is I just try to please them, my superiors. That's the best thing to do. So I am connected to ISKCON from my childhood, from the 1980s, early 80s, but I officially joined in 2002-03, and since then I'm following whatever is possible, 4 regular prayers, chanting 16 rounds, doing my services. I'm trying my best to do that, but I don't think so I have perfected yet, but I have faith on my seniors. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, why this kind of varieties of various religions are come in picture when we have perfect religion Sanatan? Yes, there are options, there is variety. Spiritual world is not only one taste. There is variety. So variety is always there in the material world, it's there in the spiritual world also. So similarly, each bona fide religion leads to the spiritual world only. So there's no problem. It's the ignorance, or people don't have knowledge about it. They think there are so many religions. There is only one religion, that is to love God and serve God. Every religion teaches, every bona fide religion teaches this one thing: love God and serve God.